The courtroom air felt thick with judgment as all eyes darted toward the young black woman in the defendant's seat. Her wrists were locked in steel cuffs, her expression calm but piercing. Her name? Chief Petty Officer Amara Briggs, a decorated Navy SEAL sniper, one of the deadliest in her class, known for making impossible shots during Black Ops missions across 3 continents. But today, she wasn't facing enemies abroad. She was staring down injustice at home. Before we continue, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notification bell to get notified for more, share to friends. Where are you watching from? Please tell us in the comments. We love seeing how far our story goes. The whispers began when Amara walked into the courtroom earlier that morning. Some saw only a defendant in a jumpsuit. Others recognized her as the hero who rescued 12 hostages from a warlord's compound in Kandahar. But the judge didn't flinch. Neither did the prosecutor, a smug man in his 50s who hadn't seen a battlefield in his life. The case was petty, ridiculous even. Amara had been falsely accused of assaulting a man outside a nightclub. What the officers didn't realize, or pretended not to, was that the man she allegedly assaulted had tried to spike a woman's drink. When Amara stepped in, she defused the situation with minimal force. But when the police arrived, all they saw was a black woman standing over a white man crying foul. No one cared that she'd served 18 years with honor, or that she wore a trident on her uniform. Not until the door opened, and a commanding voice silenced the room. "Remove those cuffs," Admiral Parker growled. Everyone turned. The atmosphere shifted instantly. Admiral Parker, a towering presence in his crisp uniform, stepped in with 2 military aides at his side. His chest bore enough medals to silence a room full of doubters. His face was firm, but his eyes were burning with barely contained rage. "Your Honor," Parker said, staring directly at the judge. "This woman is a national asset, a war hero, and you've allowed her to be paraded like a criminal for doing what your own system failed to do, protect a civilian." The judge looked flustered. "Admiral, this is a civilian court." "And I respect that," Parker cut in. "But this entire proceeding is a disgrace. Her file should have been enough to warrant a moment of pause, yet here she sits, humiliated, while her accuser walks free." The prosecutor rose to object, but Parker didn't even glance at him. Instead, he turned to Amara. "Chief Briggs," he said, his voice softening, "do you authorize me to speak on your behalf?" Amara nodded once. Calm, composed. "Very well," he said, pulling a folder from his briefcase. He handed it to the bailiff. "This contains classified details of operations she led and missions she executed. I've received temporary clearance to release this, on one condition: none of it leaves this room." The judge opened the file. His expression changed from stern to stunned. 1 page in, his hands began to tremble. She saved a senator's daughter," the judge stammered. "And 6 CIA operatives from a collapsing compound in Syria," Parker added. "She's taken bullets for your flag. She's carried men twice her size out of fire zones. And now, you insult her by trusting the word of a man with a history of sexual misconduct." The courtroom was dead silent. Even the gallery was frozen in awe. Then, a twist. A woman stood in the back. Tall, pale, clearly nervous. She raised her hand. "I need to say something." The judge hesitated. "Who are you?" "I'm the woman he tried to drug," she said, pointing toward the supposed victim. "She's telling the truth. I didn't come forward because I was afraid no one would believe me." All eyes turned. The man's face went white. He tried to bolt, but a U.S. Marshal blocked the door. "We have you on security footage," the woman added. "And I saw her stop him. She didn't hurt him, she saved me." Gasps. The judge leaned back, overwhelmed. Admiral Parker crossed his arms, eyes fixed on the prosecutor, who was now sweating profusely. "I move for immediate dismissal," Parker said. The judge didn't hesitate. "Case dismissed. Ms. Briggs, you're free to go. And sir," he added to the prosecutor, "you're being referred to the bar's ethics committee for review." The courtroom erupted, not in applause, but in collective awe. Amara stood, stretching her wrists as the cuffs were removed. Parker stepped beside her, giving a small nod. Outside, the media waited. Cameras flashed. But Amara didn't stop to give interviews. She turned to the young woman she'd saved and embraced her briefly. "Don't let this silence you," she whispered. Later that day, the district attorney's office confirmed the prosecutor had been suspended. The man who made the false accusation was charged for attempted assault and obstruction of justice. As for Admiral Parker, he requested a review of how decorated military veterans are treated in civilian courts, especially black service members. His words echoed across the nation. Justice must be colorblind, not memory blind. We must remember the heroes who protect us, even when they take off their uniforms. Amara returned to her base. She didn't seek revenge. She returned to training younger recruits, sharing her experience not just as a sniper, but as a survivor of a broken system. Moral lesson. This story teaches us that true strength lies not only in service, but in how we respond when justice falters. Our society must protect its protectors, not punish them for being courageous, especially when race and gender become silent weapons of bias. We must judge people by their actions and character, not by prejudice or appearance.